All right, thanks for joining us for another installment of Ask Epic. So, Ask Epic is here to tell all of our families about all of the things that we have to offer with Epic because it can be very daunting. We have a lot of things which can be fabulous for our families, so that's good. But we meet every week. Every week, we just discuss a new topic. So, we try and tell our families about what's going on, where they can learn things, the opportunities that we offer. And so today that's what we're going to do. My name's Shawnee Woodruff, and I'm with the Epic Development Team.
Thank you, Shawnee. My name is Sarah Nunley, and I'm also with the Epic Development Team. We are going to talk to, one segment of our family engagement department today. They do so much for Epic, and they are really kind of a large umbrella of services, and they give so much back to our families. But we would like to be able to break that down a little bit and kind of showcase what each individual person does within the family engagement department because our families do benefit from that. We want to provide as much information as possible. So they have a lot of programs, and we are going to showcase a really great one today. So as you join us, please feel free to drop any questions you have in the chat box, and we will try to answer them as the webinar progresses. And you're also welcome to email us as well. We'll drop our email in the chat. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions that you might have.
All right, so without further ado, we have Stephanie Harjo, right?
Yeah,
Harjo,
it's me. Okay.
um, joining us today with Family Engagement Department. But as Sarah said, family engagement is a huge umbrella of different things. So we're trying to break that down today. And Stephanie is really more on the side of the family engagement department with enrichment activities. And so we are going to talk to her today about what students and families can do to have success in all of those different enrichment activities. So we're glad to have you here, Stephanie. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. All right, so you are an enrichment specialist per se. So can you just tell us, because we have families that ask us so many questions when they come to our department, and we love to share all the things that we can share. And so that's one of the reasons why we're here today. So could you just clarify a little bit about what enrichment at Epic encompasses and what it really just means?
Sure, I would love to. So Enrichment at Epic has the goal of inspiring a love of learning with all students. The way that we do that is that I host different activities and events around the state all year long they are encouraging students to do project-based learning and to show up at events and get that collaboration with their peers. And so some of actually all of the events that we do include spelling bees, science fairs. We do a STEAM experience. We have living wax museums. We have Read Across America events, scholastic book fairs, and writers workshops. We do try to get all across the state and do different spaces and places to get all of our students involved in these activities throughout the year. So that is the basic baseline of what the enrichment department at Epic offers.
Okay, and we are going to dive in a little deeper into all of those different segments. So don't worry if you're listening and she went through all those really fast, it's okay. We're going to talk about them a little more. So we're just kind of getting an idea about what it is that you do and what we offer. So now let's just kind of break it down a little more and say about what the roles and responsibilities of the enrichment part of family engagement department does.
Sure. So the Family Engagement Department really houses several different departments under this large umbrella called Family Engagement. And you'll find many different segments, departments underneath this umbrella. We all do different things that serve our families very well. You find things like healthy habits and community service. We serve littles, 0 to 3-year-olds. There are just a multitude of departments that fall under that family engagement category. When you're looking at enrichment, these are more academic-based, project-based learning opportunities that come with an event. So if you find yourself at a different family engagement event that is not enrichment, you may not experience the actual enrichment piece of family engagement at that particular event. There are just so many things that family engagement does. So this is one piece, just one piece of a huge puzzle that is family engagement at Epic.
Yeah. And it's all over, like you said. I mean, we have all kinds of things all over the states, and because we service the whole state of Oklahoma, so we try and do things all over the place. So yeah,
Yes.
that's great to hear. We have a lot to talk about for sure today.
That's awesome, Stephanie. I know I've seen you at a lot of the events. You guys are, like Shawnee said, everywhere across the state of Oklahoma. So if families want to get plugged in, they definitely can do that. So we did touch on this earlier. You went through a host of activities and events that you put on. So if you would like to go ahead and kind of share that with everyone, because they are really exciting events to get involved in. We've been to several of them, and they're so much fun, not just educational, but they're fun for the whole family to go to these events. So if you don't mind sharing that with everyone.
Sure, I would love to. We do aim to make it a fun experience for the kids. And we also really strive to make sure that the teachers, we really strive to come alongside teachers and make sure that we're giving lots of resources to them so that they could plug their students in super easily without having to do a lot of legwork that would be required in some of these project-based learning opportunities, which is why we have created a space on our website that is just academic enrichment. So any family, any teacher at Epic can go to this place on the website. We're just at epiccharterschools.org, hovering over family engagement and clicking on academic enrichment. When you get to this page, you will find every piece of resource that you might need to participate in every activity that the enrichment department at Epic offers students. For instance, our first event coming up is the spelling bee. Up here, you have your links to register for the event. When you click on these links, you get even more information about the event, along with the opportunity to register. You'll find all kinds of learning outcomes, different things that pertain to each event. I'm going to scroll down to the next event, which would be our science fair, where you see these registration links at the top. But as you scroll down, for this particular event, we've created instructional packets for students, along with rubrics, so that they know what to expect when they come to an event that we host. When they register, they know exactly how they're going to be judged and how awards are going to be given. And also a secondary piece of this is that teachers could use this for themselves in their classrooms with their groups if they chose to use these resources outside of our events. So we've grade banded all of these instructional packets. I'll click on one so you can see it's a really easy piece to use. It's a printable packet. You can download it, print it, give it to your students, send it home with them. We've tried to incorporate things like instructional vocabulary, ideas for students to use, along with a week-by-week timeline, a project checklist, things that we think could be really beneficial for students, but also can help the teachers to keep them on track without having to create any kind of program for it. The rest of the packet is just something that the kids could fill out. We've tried to ask every question that we think is important for them to think about with the project. A lot of work has gone into this so that the teachers, especially so that the teachers and families, if they get this packet at home, it's really step by step for them and they can use it with ease for each one of the events that we host at Epic. You'll find this on every single event that we do. The Living Wax Museum. We do an international academic competition, which is an online history, science, and geography competition. It's really fun for students who are into those particular subjects, and they can do it from their home. They can do it online. There's actually a regional and a national competition that students can qualify for if they choose and qualify to go to all the way to the nationals. We've had students last year that actually qualified to go to the regional competition. So this is a fun one to get involved in. You'll find all the information you need on this as well. I'm going to scroll down here to our Read Across America Literacy Day. We do this in March. It's a really fun event that is less academic based. All of the enrichment events are going to be fully academic based, where students usually they prepare a project, bring it to the event, and then showcase their project, and usually in a competition type way. The Literacy Day event is a little different in that we just bring all of the academics to the students. We have a book giveaway. We have a scholastic book fair. We have a reading corner where a lot of our EPIC staff and admin will come and read stories to the kids all day. We obviously have Cat in the Hat that comes to visit. We also have a resource fair for families to learn more about not only what EPIC does to promote literacy, but how EPIC is coming alongside students that need maybe extra help, or even giving families a way to practice these kinds of things at home, some more tools for them to take home that day and incorporate when they get home for those kiddos who maybe need a little bit of an extra step up. Or maybe even just some fun games that the families might learn during this event and be able to take home and play and learn in that way. We really love this event. Our last thing is we do a writer's workshop. We actually do a virtual writer's workshop this year. It's something new we're trying. We had our first master class of writing last month with Darlene Bailey Beard. She's an Oklahoma author who came and presented to our students and gave lots of tips and tricks on how to write certain things. She taught the kids how to write memoirs and then got them involved in contests around the state with her writing tips. And then next month we have Alton speak to our kids and showcase his book. And so this is a really fun event that students can also do from home. So not all of our events are in person. We try to make, get around this state as much as possible, but we're incorporating some virtual events as well for those students who prefer or maybe need to stay home for whatever reason. They can still participate in enrichment activities at EPIC. And I think I passed the Living Wax Museum. Do you mind if I go back and talk about that one? Because it's really fun.
Oh, not at all. I think I went last year to this and it was so incredibly interesting.
It is probably the most fun that we have in the enrichment department at EPIC. This event is so much fun. Kids get to choose a historical figure, do the research on that figure, and down here you've got all of this lined out for you as well. You don't have to do any of the work on that. We give lots of ideas on people to choose along with the timeline and the project list. And then we really do lay it out for kids on what they really need to know about their historical figure. They fill in the blanks as they do their research. And then when they're done doing that research, they create a board just like they would for a science fair, where they get to display all the information that they have learned about the historical figure that they've chosen. And then we've laid out a little bit of a template for a speech that the kids would ideally write in the space and then memorize if possible, or they could bring it with them on the day of the event. And what's really fun is that they also get to dress up like the historical figure they've chosen. They arrive to the event dressed up with their board and their speech in hand. There's a little button on the floor next to them that says "Step here." Whenever our families and our staff that come to the event come around and step on that person's button on the floor, then that student gets to come to life. They go from a wax figure and they come to life when the button is stepped on, and they get to give their speech and tell all about the historical figure that they've chosen and done research on. The kids at EPIC go all out for this one. I've seen first graders go all out and just do these fantastic presentations all the way up to 12th graders who love to do this as well. So this is a really fun event where I think the creativity of our students is really showcased, and the talents that they have. We're just so proud of our kids for doing all of these things, coming to these events and speaking, doing public speaking. They get practice in that, and it's just a really fun time for the kids to come. They see other kids doing something that they're interested in doing and that they've put time into. They make friends. And everyone leaves feeling just celebrated and really just feeling like they've really been part of a community and that they have done good work, getting able to go tell their teachers and their families about what they've done. So this one in particular is something that our kids genuinely enjoy every year, and we get really excited to offer. This event is coming in February.
It
Do
is
you-
so much fun. Yeah, like I said, Stephanie, we went last year. I think Shawnee and I both went, and it was so seriously, just the atmosphere was so much fun. We had so many parents and students, and it was just a great, great environment.
Yeah.
So all of these look like something I would want to be involved in if I was a student, and if I was a parent, I would want my kids to be involved in this. So is this something that students need to sign up for? And if so, how far in advance would you recommend? Like, is there a cap at any of these events where it's better to sign up early?
Yes, great question. For most of these events, registration opens anywhere from 6 weeks to 2 months out from
Okay.
the event. Some of these you'll find on the website that are already open, that if you wanted to come and register now, you can. We recommend getting registered for an event as soon as possible, because with a lot of these things, you can see that there are things that you need to do. You need to
Right.
download and print, you need to fill out your packet, and you really want to just have time to look through all of the information. We provide videos to show you what things should look like or can look like. And then we really do try to provide more than enough information for a family to just come in here and read through, download the packet, and feel prepared for the event. But it is a lot of stuff. So we definitely recommend coming in, registering for any event at least 6 weeks from the event if possible, just to give yourself the timeline that's usually needed to accomplish one of these projects. However, we have had students that come in and register 2 weeks, 1 week before, because they just run across it and they still do a beautiful job. It's very doable to do in a short timeline if you're one of those kiddos that comes and sees it late. It's not that you can't. We do usually have a cap, and that usually depends on the venue that we're using for each event. So that's another reason to get in early. So I definitely would recommend, 4 to 6 weeks out from an event would be ideal for registering. And again, those registration links can be found at the top of each one of these pages within that academic enrichment page on our website. We usually also try to send an email out about 4 to 6 weeks out from the event, so that everyone in Epic gets that email and can be aware that we do have an event coming up, just in case you may have looked through this page and seen something you wanted to do and then got busy like we all do. We try to send that email out so that you know, hey, this event's coming up and it's a good time to register for it. So that's a double layer of just making you aware of what's coming up, and another way to register for that event.
So if a student, for instance, goes on, let's say a little bit late to one of these events, will it say it is full, or will those buttons just not work if they try to register?
Correct. If the event has come to capacity and it
Okay.
is full, it won't have any more tickets available for them to register
Okay.
with. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Is there something that, just piggybacking off of that, is there something that students could do if there's not a space open? Is there a chance that maybe a space might open? What would they do in that case? Just talk with you, their teacher, or?
Yes, absolutely. If you come to register for an event and then you see that the spots are all taken, sometimes it'll be a little tricky because we open up a certain amount of spaces for students and then a certain amount of spaces for parents, and then another few spaces for staff members. So a lot of times if you come in and you might find, a space for the student, but the parent tickets are all gone, it could look like that, or vice versa, or it could all be gone. You just never know, but definitely reach out to me. And I would love to try and get you into that event. There's usually something we can do. So I would definitely say reach out to me. And my email, I was looking for it just a second ago. It is on this page somewhere. We'll find it, and then you can use that to reach out to me.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. Cause I mean, I
Bottom.
know that, oh, there it is at the
Yes,
bottom. Yeah.
yes.
So yeah, if you're one of those family members that, gets in at the last minute and wants to go ahead and do it and it says there's not any space, reach out to Stephanie. She can like talk with you about it and decide if there's some space that can be opened up or, finagle things around if that needs to happen. So that would be really good. There was something else I was going to touch on. You have this, by the way, this website or this part of the website that you have done, I know that you spent a lot of time on it, and I want to give you so much credit for it because it's fantastic. Everything is in one place. So, I mean, you can see the dates, you can see where they're going to be at, you can see all of the things that you've attached there. Um, and then what I was going to add to that is you have been talking about how you can print those packets. Sometimes families don't have printers. Do you have any suggestions? We didn't talk about this ahead of time, but do you have suggestions about what people could do if they don't have a printer at home?
Sure. I have to backtrack first and say that thank you for the accolades on the website, but I would never be able to take those. The communications department was heavily involved, and so I am so grateful to them for all the work they put into this. So for our families, just that
Right.
labor of love for our students, everyone was involved in. So I would say yes, if a family doesn't have a printer, then there are several different options that I think you could utilize. A lot of times teachers will be able to print things and deliver them to their students. So that's the first thing that I would do is reach out to your teacher, let them know you want to be involved in this, and then send them the link to this page if they don't already have it and ask them to print it for you. You can also print at libraries. If you choose to go in and download this on a library computer, you can definitely utilize that option. And if it comes down to it and you can't do either one of those things, then my email is right there. And I would love to help connect you with someone in your area that could definitely help get those packets to you. I would also say that would never be a reason not to participate in one of these events. If you can't get the packet printed, but you have the information right there on your computer, just use a notebook or a sheet of paper and write the answers in, and a student could easily do the project and do a really good job without printing that packet. So don't let that keep you from participating.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was headed, Stephanie, with that question with printing is because I don't want families to be like, I don't have a printer, so we can't do this. There
Right.
are so many ways that you can go ahead and do this without a printer. Of course, printers are great to have if you want to be able to print things, and there are ways that we can get that accomplished. But you can use the old-fashioned notebook, right?
Yes.
I mean, you
Yes.
can just look at the screen and see what it says on there, write the things down, and so yeah, don't we can't use that as an excuse. We can definitely still do it.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Okay. So I think we kind of already touched on how you register for these because you showed us this fabulous website where it has all those little dates where you can click on registering for these different things and how far in advance we need to register for them. So I think we covered that pretty good. But what about I know you said that we have this large umbrella for family engagement and you are in this particular department. There are a lot of different events that happen. So are you at all of those family engagement department events or do you just do the enrichment events or how does that work?
That's a great question. And as our team and our department evolves and grows, the answer to this question changes. But the easy answer is that I am at a lot of the events that family engagement puts on. By no means am I at all of them. We have, between our team, the calendar is full with more than one event on each day of the year. So we have so many events going on. You wouldn't find me or enrichment activities at the other events necessarily. But something I am heavily involved in is the back to school expo events and then our winter expo events as well. So if you register for one of those, you will definitely see me there, and I will be representing this department with information and flyers, and you can get information about the enrichment department from me at those events. And occasionally you'll see me as a volunteer at one of my colleagues' events as well. So again, that answer is a continual changing answer as we grow and as more events are placed on the calendar, as we try to do as much as we can for families.
Yeah.
Yeah, we fill spots in different ways.
Yeah. So I know I'm gonna just say the same thing that Sarah said earlier. Her and I think, attended the same the Living Wax Museum one last year. It's so fun to see those kids do all that practicing and then hit those little buttons and just see them spill everything that they've learned, about their person because they pick someone they're really interested in,
Hmm.
right? So it makes it a lot better for them when they're doing this because it's someone they chose, someone they really cared about learning about. And so they really care about sharing it as well. So that's really fun. And I love to see the costumes. I love to see them dressed up. I think that is like so, so fun. So I love that. Um, do you, we're still sharing your screen, right?
Yes, ma'am. Would you like me
Okay.
to
Yeah,
stop?
let's go ahead and stop that part so that way whenever people are watching this back, they'll be able to kind of understand what we're doing here and why we're not on that screen anymore. But it's a fantastic, fantastic part of the
It is.
website. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you.
You did put so much work into that. I was looking through it just this week, and it is such a great tool for our families. And I believe it probably it in your was probably your goal as well for that to be utilized by teachers. So let's say we have a family that is like, this is great. How do we get our teacher on board, or does our teacher know about this? What would be your recommendation on maybe getting the teachers involved with those services that you're offering?
That's a really great question. The goal of our department is really to partner with teachers. Our teachers do so much for our students, and so our goal is really to come alongside them and help teach kids in a fun, project-based way, but to ask very little of those teachers because they're already doing so much for those families. So I would say the best way to get your teacher involved is just to let them know that you'd like to be part of this event. And if they haven't already seen the resources from the website, go ahead and show them. There's a chance that maybe they haven't gotten a chance to see that yet. So I would just say to show your teacher those resources, let them know you'd like to participate, and then have them reach out to me if they have any questions at all. Again, we try to provide everything that a student would need for that project-based learning experience without asking the teachers to do anything to provide that to students, but to be able to come alongside them. So we're thrilled when teachers can show up and be part of that, but also if they can't, we are very willing to take that on for them and to still provide their students with a great learning experience alongside them.
I have no doubt that there are so many teachers that will say thank you for doing that, because that takes so much off of their plate as well. So yeah, thank you so much, and kudos for creating that content for them. So probably another question would be, can these packets and this information, these events, can they be used as a grade for these students?
So we are currently working on a process that would make that a little bit more streamlined in a way that the teachers prefer. Currently, what I would say is the teachers, it's up to your teacher how they want to use this for a grade or if they want to use it for a
Okay.
grade. And so that would be something, and I encourage students every time they come to one of these events to make sure that they take pictures, show their teacher what they did. I always ask them, do you want me to video you saying this so that you'll have it to send to your teacher
Okay.
if you're giving a speech? Anything that you do, show to your teacher, and I know that they will be thrilled and happy to give you credit in whatever way they feel is appropriate.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. As a previous teacher, I think, we're always looking for ways that we can help engage students more in whatever it is that they're learning, whether it be about science or geography or any of those things. And a lot of these enrichment activities can go for so many different things. And why not include them as a grade? And maybe this could even be used as like a bonus points, or something like that. Anything that you can do, and you want students to get credit, for that. Not only just the great experience of doing it and getting graded for it at the event and possibly winning or, any of those things, but also, they get credit for it with their teachers as well with their grades. So that's always good. Reminds you of the little piece of paper, the little assignments with the big smiley faces on it.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to get
Right.
everybody wants to get the smiley face, on
Right.
their paperwork. So that's always good. Um, let's see. So what?
Anybody who brings something to these events, they have put so much time and
Yeah.
into
Oh,
it
yeah.
that I just tell them, look, your teacher wants to know that you did this. They want to know the work you put into this, and they really will want to give you credit in some way for this. So,
Yeah.
students who come, they really do put their so much work into these projects.
Yeah, they do. We see it.
Mhm.
So, and I think it's great um that we let all grade levels do it. It's not just very specific to like junior high or just elementary. I like that we're able to have all students be able to do that. So that's really good. Now, talking about all students being able to do this seems like something we hit on every single webinar because we always want to make sure that our families know that there's an opportunity for you no matter what. So, with that being said, with this particular enrichment activities that you are hosting, are any students in Epic? If you're in co-ops, if you're in Comet Academy, it doesn't matter what model you're in. Can all students go to these events or join these events?
Yes.
Yes. All
Easy
right.
answer. Yes.
That's just an easy
Any and all
question.
students.
Yeah, it
Yes.
just doesn't matter, does it? I mean,
It
it
doesn't
doesn't matter
matter.
where you're at in Epic. If you're a student, you are welcome, right?
You are welcome. Yes. And I will say on that note too, we not only strive to provide an event that is academically enriched and that students walk away from feeling like they've learned something from, and they've been able to showcase what they've done and the research that they've done. But we also strive really hard to make sure every student that comes to these events feels very celebrated. We know that you're going above and beyond and doing something that you don't have to do. We know that you're putting work into it at home. We know that your families have to be involved enough to help you get the resources and to
Right.
bring you to the events. And so none of that is lost on us. When you arrive at an enrichment event within Epic, no matter if you walk home with first place or you don't, you walk away feeling very celebrated. And we really strive to make sure that every student knows how well they've done and that we really do see them. We like to stop and listen to everybody multiple times. We have so much fun with these students. It is so much fun at these events. And there's just never a time where a student walks away feeling anything other than completely celebrated, no matter which sector of Epic you're from or which grade level you belong to. You belong to Epic, and we love celebrating you at these events.
Yeah, I love that. You can tell that you have so much passion for this, and
Mhm.
that's why I love talking about this so much with you because you are very passionate about what you're doing and it shows. And I love that. And
Thank you.
everybody else can see that as well. So thank you for that. So I'm going to touch on this one more time because it's so fabulous. And I'm going to let you plug it one more time here. So how do families, just for the sake of knowing again, how do families find out more information and how do they get involved?
So the first line would be to go straight to that epiccharterschools.org website and click on the academic enrichment tab underneath family engagement. Everything that you need for every event that academic enrichment is providing to you is on that page. Registration links, instructional packets, rubrics to know how you'll be judged on events that are judged. Every possible thing that you're going to need, videos to show you what to do, you will find there. Whenever you click on those registration links, you will be taken to a whole other page with even more information, along with the link, to click and sign up. You'll give your information. We're going to ask you things like your name, your student ID, your email address, and then usually things like your preferred language and other things that we may need in order to provide a well-rounded event for the families that are registered to come. The other way that you can get involved is just to make sure you check your email, because for every one of these events, we're going to send out an email to every single Epic family that lets you know that this event is coming and to put it on your calendar. In those emails, we also include the registration links. And we try to always include the link straight to that enrichment page on the Epic website as well. So those
Okay.
are two ways. The other way is if you have my email, just email me and I'd love to help get you set up where you need to be.
Yeah, and I think Sarah has shared several things in the chat too. So if people need to go out, families need to go see that, they can get that from the chat too.
Perfect.
Trying to plug as much as we can, Stephanie. We definitely want to share as much information. And your email box may be flooded a lot, which is
Okay,
fine, I guess, right? If they have
that's
questions.
okay. Yes.
So we will continue to share this information. So I do have a question about, you kind of touched on there are so many ways that our families can get plugged in and they don't have to feel like, oh, well, I don't have a printer, so I can't print this off, or I don't have access, to this resource or that resource. So, speaking of that, are there costs associated with any of these events? And, kind of maybe go over that with our families because there are options. Sometimes I think people will read that and think, well, I don't have access to that. But there's always, I would say, opportunities and options for those families to get involved regardless. Correct?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. With each of the events, I would say there is a small cost that is possible to be associated with that particular. However, our learning fund has worked hard to create a list of items that you can use that learning fund for that are associated with these events. For instance, a trifold board for your science fair project or your living wax museum project. Any kind of supplies that you may need for maybe your science fair project can be purchased from that learning fund link as well. But I would also say that even if you were out of learning fund money and didn't have the resources for those things, we have seen students use things from their kitchen table and get the side of a cardboard box to showcase their results on, and those projects are just as good as any of the others. It really doesn't matter if you've spent any money at all on these projects. What matters is the content underneath and the student engagement on those particular projects. We are thrilled when a student, maybe even more thrilled when a student uses resources that they had at home and still created something really magnificent that just showcases their academic talents and their dedication to the project. So while it may look on the surface like it does cost a little bit of money, you can always use that learning fund, or you can just use resources you have at home. As far as like the Living Wax Museum dressing up, we actually suggest don't spend any money on that. Just use something you have at home, created out of paper plates or just whatever you have laying around. We don't want that to be something that families feel stressed to do. We truly just want the participation and we want the kids to get the experience. And so I would say never ever let that keep you from participating in an event. Whatever you have is what we want. We just want you to come in and experience it and enjoy it and learn from it. And we want to meet you. We want to collaborate with you. A lot of the kids that come to one event will end up coming to all of the events. And so we get to end up, having a relationship with those kids that keep coming back because they enjoy it so much. So don't let any of those things, printing or resources or supplies, ever keep you from participating in any of these events, because it definitely isn't required.
I love that. I had a feeling that that is probably the case, and we obviously want every student to get involved, no matter whether they feel like they have um, the same opportunity as someone else. Everyone can get involved, and every event is amazing, no matter how you show up there. Doesn't matter what you have at home or don't have at home.
Yes.
So you touched on the Learning Fund being utilized, and I'm assuming that there is maybe a pre-approved list that parents
Yes.
can go find. Okay.
Yes, there
Okay.
is. And even if you are in the Learning Fund and you put in the Amazon link for something like a trifold board, it's going to pull up that pre-approved list, so it should work just fine. I would also say if you're just coming down to the wire and not sure about some of the supplies that you have or don't have, again, reach out to me. I usually can find a way to connect you somehow with someone that can help get that to you. Or if you're in my area, I can help get that to you as well. So there are just so many ways to help get your kiddo involved.
Okay. That's awesome. There isn't ever a cause for a student not to get involved for any reason. And if there's ever any doubt, maybe we have some families listening, please reach out to Stephanie if you have any questions and you just kind of want to touch base with her on any of these things. Please do that because you are obviously a wealth of knowledge when it comes to this, and we want these students to enjoy these events, obviously.
Thank you. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Shawnee, do you have any other questions or anything you want to go over?
I don't think I have any other questions. Stephanie, did you have anything that you could think of during this time that we've been talking that maybe popped up that you want to address, or do you feel like we got everything?
I'm just so thrilled to be here and be able to share this with you guys. I'm so excited to get this information to families. We are in our third year. The enrichment department is starting our third year at Epic. And so we're just ready. We're ready for the students and ready for all the fun this year, and can't wait to see all the students that come and present things this year for our enrichment activities. So thank you so much for letting me be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are excited to have you. Honestly, we love showcasing what everyone does and breaking that down for families. And this is a great resource and will be a good help for our families to understand exactly what it is that you do within the family engagement department and possibly help more of our families get, plugged into these events by understanding that. So no, we were just thrilled that you joined us today. Epic does offer a wide variety of services, and it can be a bit difficult or daunting at times to stay informed with everything that is available. So that's why we're hoping to break down some of engagement departments within the department over the next few weeks and upcoming months and showcase what each one of you do. And really allow our families to get plugged in and hopefully the growth within your department. So we're super thrilled with everything that the family engagement department does, all the events. If you've never been to one, you need to go because they are so much fun. They're just so exciting, and you'll be there usually for several hours, engaging with other families and teachers and um, Epic Epic employees, and it's just a fun time to meet people and get engaged. So I want to say thank you for all the time and the thought and effort that you guys put into creating these events and these outreach opportunities. They serve our community and our students and our families. So I hope that everyone watching will take advantage of these events and that you will learn something new.
Yeah, because this is one of those opportunities where we have, online students who maybe they're doing everything mostly online and they're not really engaging with other kiddos or things like that. This is the opportunity.
Mhm.
These are those times where you can get those things accomplished and go meet new people. Family engagement is all about that, especially with these enrichment activities. So if you have any other questions that we maybe didn't touch on today, that you wanted to discuss, you could always reach out to us at our department, which is the development team, sorry. And we have an email address. I think Sarah put it in there earlier, edt at epiccharterschools.org. And then we also have our phone number, 405-400-0651. And that's for our department. And there's several of us. You can reach out to us. We can answer questions. Maybe you thought about something during this webinar that's not really pertaining to what we talked about today, and you had questions about that. You can still reach out to us. We can help you with all of those things. So we just want to make sure that everybody knows everything that's coming up, and maybe things that they don't know about with Epic. And this can help them with that. So we have past recordings with our webinars that we do every week. So you can find those if you go to our website. You can find those under Ask Epic, and you can look at those that we've had from last year, and then all the ones that we've had for this year as well so far. It does take a couple of days, I think, sometimes for them to get put on there. So if you're wanting to watch this one back It may take a couple of days for it to get on there, but you can go back and watch that. So we want to thank Stephanie for coming today. We appreciate all of her hard work and in her department. And next week, we're going to discuss co-ops, which is also really fantastic. So thanks again for joining us today. Come back next week for Ask Epic, and we hope to see you then. See ya.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.